Good morning, everyone, from my end, and welcome again to One Global Movement, where we speak with heart for women, children, and young people worldwide. Thank you guys so much as we continue our series of gender based violence and what we as One Global Movement can do. What can we do together to change the dynamics, to rewrite the story when it concerns this? It's been going on for too long. But the question now is, what are we going to do? Or what are you going to do? And when are you going to do it? If not now, then when? If not you, then who is going to do it? And so we come together to do this because it is hurting our children, it is hurting the women, particularly young girls, but it's also hurting boys as well. So we've got to do something. Not to do something, you're plundering your own family, your own children into situations that when you are no more, they will continue to suffer. But we, in One Global Movement, we want to leave behind a legacy of no violence, no gender based violence against anyone, any child. That's what we're doing here. So thank you guys so much. We're going to do this for 16 days and we'll be spicing it along the way. But next year, we're trying to come out with our own activism campaign against this. So we have to jump into it with our own things that we've written the way that we know it, and then we go for it, and then creating that impact by the grace of God in collaboration with those that are already doing it, such as United Nations, making sure that it's being done and doing it the right way, not just doing it because if we are really doing these things, putting the children or the vulnerable at heart, this thing will not be here today. We're still talking about it. So thank you guys so much, and happy Thanksgiving again to those that were not here yesterday. And we enjoyed those that were celebrating, of course, like me in the United States where we were celebrating. It's really a beautiful day out of the whole year to make it special for everyone. Are you okay, sister? Okay. Drink some water. All right. Now, we I thank you. Let me not forget to those that tendered in happy Thanksgiving to all our One Global Movement family worldwide. I highly appreciate that. And I thank all our unpassive ambassadors, and the perpetrator of what we are doing here today is because of Mr. Ash Mufara. We must never forget that, because when you bite the finger that fed you, you yourself, you're not going to be happy. So we will never forget about that. So we are in the Mantle of Hope, Revolution Part 266, empowering women and girls against gender-based violence. Empowering women and girls against gender-based violence. So I always like to really talk a little bit what comes out of my heart. Empowerment is, it's like the armor, the armor of defense, the armor that shields women and young girls from the chains of gender-based violence. But when we come together, we rise to build a world of respect, love, and equity for all human beings, regardless, because everyone is created in the spirit of Almighty God, the same. Nobody is above the other. You can only be above the other through the content of your character, what you are doing in the world. That's where the difference can count. And actually, you are the only one who is against your own self, because you've been given that opportunity to make a lasting change, and you've been given all the resources. In the cases where we don't know, we come together like this, we discuss these things, and we continue to do. But let us, we here in One Global Movement, take the oath before God and man that we're going to do the very best to eradicate or rewrite the history of gender-based violence in the world, especially certain communities that suffer more than the others. And we're doing it with all the resources that we have, including the government, police officers, churches. For everyone has to come in so that we can do it together. So when we empower women, as we know, we shatter the silence of oppression and ignite the voice of freedom in everyone. No woman or girl should ever, ever face violence alone. They shouldn't. They were not brought into this world alone. The parents are there, the aunties are there, the uncles are there, the friends are there. Why should they face this kind of oppression alone, this kind of injustice? They shouldn't. And that's why we are calling ourselves here one global movement, because one is the biggest number. When we come together as one, there is nothing that we cannot do. So strengthening women means we are strengthening humanity. You're not just strengthening one woman or two women. When you strengthen one woman, you strengthen the whole of humanity, because they are the representation and the multiplications and the multipliers of every society. So when we do that, we are doing for everyone. Don't feel like, oh, we are talking about women a lot. Yes, because we know the reason. They are the multipliers of every society. Because when you talk about the woman that much, you educate that woman that much, you make them to be aware, then you must have helped everyone, woman, and of course, the whole world. So say no to gender-based violence and yes to a future where every woman and girl thrives in safety. Safety is number one, right? So every step we take here in One Global Movement to empower women is a step toward a world free from violence, where dignity and hope light the path for every woman and every young girl out there. It does for me. It's going to do it for Sister Yvonne. It's going to do it for all the women here. And when we continue to do this, we'll realize that society will be at peace. And where there is peace, there is safety. So empowerment begins with education, education, and more education. It begins with compassion as well. And when you put education and compassion together, they become so strong that it will allow us to take the action that we so need to really combat this evil worldwide. So let us stand with women and girls to end the circle of gender-based violence and foster a culture of peace, love, and integrity. The power to change the world lies in your ability, in my ability, in our ability to empower women and girls to stand against gender-based violence and reclaim their lives. You see a lot of women and young girls, they are under trauma. And when you're traumatized, you're confused. You don't even know where to turn to. You don't even know what to do. You're not thinking right. You start thinking in ways that some of us would say, oh, she's acting weird, or she's crazy, or she's that, without knowing, without even taking the time to find out why some people behave the way they do. Because there is always a reason why somebody has to, first of all, even rape a little girl. Why a 60-year-old has to even want to go to bed with a 20-year-old. Why a 70-year-old want to go to bed with a 15-year-old. Why? There has to be something that is not going on right, that we can talk about it and hopefully find solutions. So ending gender-based violence is not just a fight for women. No, it's not. It is a victory for humanity. Empowerment fuels the journey towards justice and equality for one another. Together, we can replace fear with freedom. We can do that if we empower these children or these women, and violence with empowerment, ensuring that every girl and every woman can dream without limits, right? So the big question now comes: how can one global movement empower women and young girls against gender-based violence? How can we do that? There are so many ways. In your own way. Don't think about the ways that people are saying this is the only way, this is the only way. With you, in your home, in your community, in your country, what can you do in that present moment? Because I'm sure a lot of us have known how we've seen, or some of them exist in our families, how these women and young girls have been raped or have been abused physically, morally, psychologically. We've seen that. But keep in mind that boys are also present now. The same thing are happening to boys. we are emphasizing on women and young girls because they do it, they really bear the biggest brunt of all societal evil. But know that it's being done to our young boys too. But what can we do? So one global movement can empower women and girls against gender-based violence by focusing on so many key important points. The first one is education and awareness, right, Sister Yvonne?
Yes,
Education
it's
and awareness. If you want to throw some light on education and awareness, that would be so powerful. Thank you.
well, yes, that's fine. That's as usual. You see, sister, we're going back to the home because in the home is where most of this inequality starts, and that's what we're talking about.
Mhm.
You're treating the genders differently. And it's true that we are born differently, and scripture says we have gender roles and so on. But the thing is, if those roles are not going to be respected equally, that's where the break happens. When we treat any one of the two genders differently, more empowered, more accepting of them, that is where the issue is. So it really has to be, I don't want to use the word fight, but we have to start eradicating it in the home.
Mhm.
Do not treat, don't say you can't do this because you're a girl, or you can only do that because you're a boy, or whatever it is. If we treated each other equally, we wouldn't be having this discussion, because
Yeah.
anybody could do what they need, or what they can do. Just because they're having women in the army now, it doesn't mean that they're respected and treated the same way as the men ever were. It does not mean that. And unfortunately, this is the kind of things that we're hoping for. We're saying that when you prove yourself, you should be accepted as that.
Mhm.
But that is not what's happening. So again, when you say education, education, you you are hitting it on the head, because education, information, change of mind, whatever you want to call it, it has to start on the ground, in the home.
Yes.
I don't know how we can do that except by just keep trying, because we can't approach every home and say, I don't know, you're going to hand out a pamphlet. People hand out a pamphlet for everything. But how do we really get people to start thinking about what they're doing, and what the repercussions are? Because it starts there.
Mhm.
You go to school, and the girls, we're going to say girls because this is an equality that hits mostly women, right?
Mhm.
As we're saying, it's now affecting men. Or maybe it was and they didn't speak about it. That's something we also said. But let's just say, you tell the girls that she has to do this, but the boy can do that. Why not let everybody try everything and then say it's not for me?
Mhm.
That is where it should be starting, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
in the workplace, the same. Wherever you go, it should be the same thing. So that is what I'm looking at. I don't know how to start except there, sister.
It is really true because I love you say start from the grassroots, start from home. It
You
starts
have to.
with you, it starts with me. Because if
Yes.
we're going to be saying is the government, the government, the government, no. You,
No.
you brought those children into this world. They are your gift. How did you train your children? And we know that not to blame anybody, we know that we can always do the best that we know how best we can do it.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
now that the world is expanding and this problem is even becoming bigger and bigger,
Mm-hmm.
we can always ask because it does not take higher education or certification. Not, it doesn't even take any amount of education to be able to train our children well. It
Yes.
comes from the heart. It is a love. When you
Mm-hmm.
have the love for these children, you start to put things in place. Even if our parents didn't teach us, we can put from you as we are talking. What can you do to be sure that you train this child, you bring that child up the godly way,
Yeah.
the way of morality, the way
Yeah.
of high ethical standards? What is your what are your cultural values, family values? We have all these values because we were created with them. So what are
Yeah.
we doing to help these children? Is it starts from the home.
So
It
when you go home
yes.
today, as whoever is listening to this later on or whatever, you say, do I have two children here? Whatever. How am I treating them? It's mindfulness.
Yes.
And this is how we learn. This is how, as you said, we don't need PhDs or anything for that. You can just observe. Am I
Yes.
saying you have to go to bed early because you can't go here? No, no. You look at it and you say, And as you're always saying, find out what your child likes to do and let them try it. That is why I was reading another statistics system, and it seems as if homeschooling is really taking off, especially
Mhm.
in your country,
Yes, thank you.
because the other traditional schooling is still contributing to this. This is what we're talking about, the gender-based biases,
Mhm.
you know. So people are taking their kids and their children and teaching them at home, and it's really becoming quite a thing.
Yes.
So I don't know
And
what's
it
going to
should.
happen.
It
Yeah,
should, because when we think about one global movement, if you can remember how we discussed when we start drawing the school curriculum, because this is
yeah,
education right here. You
yeah.
put these things, this thing online. As we're talking, we encourage people to go there with their children and take those courses. They take it
Absolutely.
because you're doing it right in the confines of your home, and
Mhm.
you are doing it well with your children, the way that you know that they're going to understand at their own pace without forcing them, because this way it is void of competition, especially the kind of competition in school or the kind of situation where a child is sitting for an exam, but we don't know under what condition that child was sitting for that exam, and the
Right.
child will end up maybe not having the good grade. And we
Mhm.
all know that examination is not a true test of knowledge. We know that,
Yeah,
because a child should sit for something when they are they are fully ready, psychologically and emotionally ready for those things. But we don't
absolutely.
have that yet. We don't have that
No, we
yet.
don't. We don't. We don't.
with
We
with
don't.
the advent of not the advent, with homeschooling becoming more and more the thing for today, I think that's a good thing. It is throwing it back at us, the parents, that
Yeah.
now here, these are your children. How did you
Mhm.
raise these children?
Mhm.
It starts
Mhm.
from the home. And you're talking about raising the children equally. I have seen it. Have been one of them. I've been one of the victims to say,
Yes.
you are
Yeah.
a girl, this is what you're going to do. And these ones are boys, this is what they're going to do. And with
Mhm.
men, that, like you said, these are gender-based violence. We say it more about women because maybe they're affected more, but it's been affecting men for the longest time as well.
Yes.
But they
Yes.
were not talking about it because they think you are the man, you don't complain. How can you say a woman rapes you? But now it's not just a woman. Men, women, they're raping one another.
Yes. We are
A,
hurting each other. Yes.
a school teacher that you are in your 40s. What are you doing with a 16, 17-year old student? So we see these things a lot. So we are saying that, when it comes whether to a boy or a girl child, a man or a woman, let us give people an equal opportunity to try. What they can do is to try, and if it resonates with them, they will go with it. If it does
Yeah.
not, we'll leave it,
Yeah.
and then we
Yes.
continue to do that.
Try
And this
something
is
else.
where we begin. This is where we begin.
It has
Education
to be.
and more education. We talk about. We can also do advocacy and legal support, but
Mhm.
we are not the lawyers, but certainly we can research for legal information that we can give, because some people, when they are under this condition, they don't know where to turn to. They don't know.
Yes.
And they
That's true.
only turn just to their parents. And that's why the parents are the first legal advocates for and support for children. And so we can do that. We advocate for stronger laws and policies to protect women and young girls from gender-based violence. And then we can also partner with organizations like
Yes.
One Global Movement. I would say is Virgin. There are other
Mhm.
organizations out there that have been doing it before One Global Movement. So
Mhm.
we,
Mhm.
we partner with this organization to provide legal aid and support services for survivors, and also to prevent some people or some children. When you hear something, somebody tells you something, then you report. You know where to turn to immediately. You don't keep quiet. And so we want to make in such a way that intimidation doesn't become the thing that will deter our children from reporting, because some
Mm.
children are afraid, because those people will come and say, if you dare open your mouth, I'll kill you. Who will
Yeah.
not be afraid? Everybody
Yes.
will be afraid not to be killed, right? So, and then
Yes.
safe spaces and support network. We want to be able to establish like shelters and
Absolutely.
safe spaces for survivor to receive emotional, physical, and psychological care. A One
Mhm.
Global Movement is talking about building communities. These are the kind
Mhm.
of communities that we are talking about. You're not just building communities for people, you're building communities and equipping them with all of these things that will continue to help them, because they're going to be having more children. They themselves, they need it to heal from that, and these children need it as a preventive measure if
Mhm.
those things come around, and then to create support groups that, like, we are a support group here in terms of
Mm-hmm.
moral support, psychological and emotional support. We are here to also support, but there are people that are also licensed to do those things that you can go to, but make sure what you hear is what resonates with you. Do you feel that this is the right place for you? This is the
Yes.
right thing for you. Remember, you can change your therapist, you can change your doctors, you can change, so long as it's not addressing your situation. Not that those people are not good, they are good. But with your own situation, if you realize that it's not addressing it, you say
Yes.
something.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Absolutely.
you talk
Yes.
about community and male engagement. Let us listen to this. I
Yes.
think that Mr. Barilla, the managing director, or Sir AP, or Levy, all our men here, some of them will jump or hop on here and say something, because we
Yeah.
rely on you guys
Mm-hmm.
to help. So community and male engagement involve. We should involve men like we are doing here, and boys in discussions about equality and the harmful effects of gender-based violence. We
Right.
should involve everyone, and we have to promote male allyship, which means male partnership to challenge and change harmful behaviors. And because
Absolutely.
some of these men too, they are doing it in their own homes. Take note of that. We've seen parents that are raping their own children as well. And so, if we form a partnership with these men, it can really help to reduce this kind of behavior, because there has to be something that they are doing that they don't even know that
Yeah.
they doing that thing.
Yeah. Because sometimes they grow up seeing that, right? So it becomes a normalized behavior for them, right?
Mhm.
So it's like we are just trying to, because it's come downstream now, and we're just trying to stop the cycle. Because as you say, not everybody is doing it because they're so, evil or whatever it is. They don't know any better. They really think, when I was doing counseling, relationship counseling, some women would say, the man would say that your voice should not be louder than mine. You should not speak higher than I do. Things like those. And they would hit you for that. But you can tell them why, who said that. Supposing I have a very powerful voice, even if I'm not angry,
Mhm.
right? And I'm speaking to you in a firm way. It doesn't mean I'm disrespecting you or any such thing, but they would say to the woman that her voice should not be higher than, more forceful than theirs. Things like those. So
Yes.
it really does take education, especially if the person is open to it. They're not going to fight you against it and then exacerbate the situation. But they're even so, it's something we must try, because it has to change here
Yeah.
before it becomes
Yes.
something that you live.
Certainly, certainly true. I'm so happy that you mentioned that point, that the fact that you're firm with your voice doesn't mean that you're violent or you're disrespectful.
No.
People are born. I have a very strong voice.
Yes,
I
yes,
have a very, very strong voice.
you do.
And when I'm happy, you will hear it. When I'm
Yes,
angry, you will hear that
you
same
hear it.
voice too.
Yes,
But that
yes,
doesn't mean that I'm disrespectful. And being firm is very different from being disrespectful. And being passionate about
yes,
something, so empowered or so pumped up about something, is so different. But
right.
people who want to put you down just
Hmm.
because you are powerful, just because you're doing something positive, they want to put you down to really
Sure.
diminish that kind of a thing. Instead, they have to really push you up so that you can do better. And
Exactly.
even if in a situation where, let's say somebody is really angry, of course they are angry for a reason.
Yes.
Um, the best thing to me is to pay a listening ear.
Hmm.
Listen, listen,
Right.
especially our children. Children come to us, we don't listen most of the time, and
Hmm.
because we are in our own in our own insecurity, we don't want to listen. We want to push things, we want to yell, we want to scream, and all of those things, and then we miss out on the mark on what we are supposed to do. So we invite all the men here, please, during these 16 days, come up with something. What have you witnessed? What have you been through? What have your children been through? What do you see in your community? What do you see or what do you hear around the world? What can you talk about? Hop on the panel here, say one or two things, because we need men with us. So we are
Right.
inviting you men to hop on here and say something,
Yeah.
because we cannot do it without you. It always goes to,
Yeah.
always the way God created it.
Hmm.
And
They're contributing in their chat because Sir AP is here, and so there's contribution. But it would be very much more impactful just to come onto the panel for a little while. And also not just to look around outside, but to see if you're guilty of any of these things, because we can all learn and do better when we self-reflect, right? It
Yes.
really is necessary that we do that, because just going home and apologizing to somebody and saying to your partner, your wife, your spouse, your child, that, I've been doing this wrong. What do you really want to do? Instead of
Yes.
just telling the girl that she's going to be going here and he's going to be going there. That's the wrong thing for us to do with our children. And it's perpetuating this situation where the boy is going to think, well, my dad said my sister couldn't run the company, for instance. Those things,
Yes.
when you look at them, you will learn. We live and learn. That's what we do. And if we're open to it, this is where it still starts.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. It's in our hands, ladies
it
and
is.
gentlemen. Before they go out, that's why the first 7 years of every child's life is very, very crucial, very,
Totally.
very important. It's not easy, nothing good. It's gonna
No,
be never easy. It's not
yes,
easy, but if you are happy doing it, you will derive a lot of satisfaction and you learn a lot of lessons that you will pass on to there. And it's just like me. A lot of times I was so tired because my son was one of the biggest babies in the United States.
yeah, I know you said that.
I was so tired all the time, but I was happy doing what I was doing. And
Yes, yes.
so, but let us really, if you love these children, which of course you did, that's why you gave them birth, right? Let us put every resource together, and thank God that we are here now from Unpassive. We can call one another, we can communicate with one another, we can ask questions, just like me and you, Sister Yvonne, we are doing all the time, back and forth with this. What do you think about it? What can we do about this? That is the kind of learning that sticks, because you're
Mhm.
learning immediate examples, and you have people that you can turn to and say, what do you think about this? What is the best way that we can go about this? Is what we should be talking. It starts from the home. It starts
Mhm.
from the home. And remember, there is this African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within you, the enemy outside can do us no harm. If you
Absolutely.
don't have those barriers set forth for your children, there is nobody outside that can set those things and they will hold. That
Mhm.
means it starts from you, it starts from us, the parents, it starts from the caregivers and the adults around these children. Otherwise, these children will go out there and begin to pick on those things that are out there because they did not get that foundation from home.
That's right.
So the enemy starts from home, not from outside. So it's so important that we do that. And then we're talking about leveraging technology. We are in the world of technology where some people like me that never grew up with full technology. Of course, I was going on the computer at a
Mhm.
documentation paid to do my research and do my typing. But I was never with a computer and a phone 24/7 like this. But now
Mhm.
with this high technology, we can do a lot of great things to promote this. So that way, technology, first of all, if we use it, it's cost effective because kids don't have to be paying to go to school elsewhere. They can do it
Mhm.
right there in the safety and the confines of the parents' home, and they'll be fine. So we use digital platforms to create safe reporting channels for survivors. We can use,
Mhm.
and that those are private, and then we know that these people, they're survivors, they're also running for their lives. We cannot just say things. We have to keep everything very private, and then we have to disseminate information about resources, support systems through apps and social media. And we make it so simple because remember that not everybody will understand those things. We make it so simple in straight language. And of course, thank God that there are a lot of apps now that can people who don't speak English, they can just take their language and slot it in there and everything will be easy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
now, I'm trying to pick up on my French again because it's been a long time. It's so
Mhm.
easy, you just go there, you put something and bingo, you go. So
Yes. Yes.
and we have talked a lot about collaboration. In this case, global collaboration. Because this is a global thing. We're not going to be helping only children in the United States or only in Cameroon and leaving those in Canada, Uganda, or Rwanda. We're not going to do that. Because when you do that, if you help one child here, you don't help the other one, we come back to the same point. So we got to do it, treating the world as one, as one,
Yes.
with all of us playing our role. So we can partner with international organizations to share resources such as
Mm-hmm.
Nation. I always say United Nations because I go there a lot. And then,
Yeah.
or best practices. What are some of the best practices in our community? And best practices here, ladies and gentlemen, let us also remember that best practices also come from like our elderly people in the community that play big roles in our community. We call it
Mm-hmm.
Sister Yvonne here, big sister, because we know that she's more experienced. She knows a lot of things. So best practices can also go that way because remember, there is the saying that um, no matter how tall you are, you can never stand up and be able to see what your parents or your grandparents can see while sitting down. So there are some of those good people in the village that have been, or in communities that are there to give advices. You will find
Yes.
a lot of them, they're doing volunteer work, but they know what they are doing because they have the experience and they know what they're doing. So we can also do that. And then funding opportunities. Here in One Global Movement, we would devise lots of means that we can get funding. We can sell things, t-shirts. We can do a digital magazines and have people do subscriptions. We can do sell a produce or do something that will help us to raise money. So that way we are not depending only on contributions from out there. So that otherwise, if we depend on people, not every child is going to be rich. So we got to do something that is going to help. So we can organize global events like we're trying to organize a One Global Movement 2025 international event. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be nice. 3 days continuously, but we'll make it short and sweet because most of the ambassadors will be there. They are young, so they don't want long things.
No,
So,
no.
and then we highlight the need for collective action that will be there for life against gender-based violence. That is
Yes,
very
ma'am.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Sister, like I discussed with you before, I started a big project for One Global Movement,
Mm-hmm.
which One Global Movement like building, like creating a campaign or something in our own way, in our own words, following our mission and vision on how we're going to be doing this every year. When we do this, I was thinking about contacting some organizations like United Nations and others and present it to them because they will know the best thing. So when I do it, I'm going to pass it around with us, the seven staunch figures here. So we take a look. What can we fix? What can we add? What can we subtract? How can we make it even so more impactful that it's going to reach everyone? And in this case, I'm going to try to put it in a book or in something like a little book. We would
Mm-hmm.
name it something so that
Mm-hmm.
when they take it, they will read it. They will read it. They will know that, oh, I go to this page, there are resources here, or this is who I can call in case of this, or this is how I can do. So we will do those things. So I will send it out to you,
Yes.
the other people, and then we take a look, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the title to the core themes of the project and key messages, campaign slogans, actionable campaign ideas. We would do all of that. So I just put it the way that I understood it to be. So I will send it out, and we can also send it out to other people that would teach us even better.
Okay. It's like a manifesto then. That's what
Send
it
it
is.
to Mr. Ashman Farah, but I don't know that we can do that
I
now.
don't think he has time right now. He still hasn't even come. This is quite a while now. We haven't seen a word from him. So yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It will come. We can even we started, of course. We
It will
started
be ready. It will be ready when he
and
comes,
we
sister.
revise it. We'll keep revising the book all every time, but the same
Exactly.
idea has to stay.
Exactly.
So yeah, okay. Thank you so much, and let us appreciate our audience. And if you
Yes,
have
let
anything else to say, you can go ahead.
well, it's so impactful that we're saying that it starts where you are already. You can't go out to do anything in the world unless you have it kind of fixed up where you are. Training programs for professionals. Then we have rehabilitation programs for the perpetrators because they're going to need that consistent mindfulness saying, and then as you were talking about the awareness campaigns. And we have to speak out against it wherever we see it because here it's very powerful.
Mm,
Speaking out, rejecting it, because sometimes people really don't even realize what they're doing, sister. As I said, it becomes such a norm for them to say, I'm important, I'm a male, you're not. They
Yes.
talk over you or things like that. So if you're in, even if you're in a meeting and that happens, you and I think silence, just stop first and then let the person realize what they've just done. It really
Yes.
works.
Yes. Yes.
Simple things
Silence
like
is
those.
silence is number one medicine. You don't
Yes, it
fight
is.
with nobody. You don't get
No.
angry. You
Yep.
just look at them straight in their faces with a kind of a firm but happy face and don't say a word.
Yep.
That's the first thing. You don't
Yep.
have to fight it because you know that you're not what they're telling you that you are. And so you move on.
Exactly.
You know, this thing of this gender-based violence is really perpetrated by parents that don't know, because I come from a community with that they will
Hmm.
say, I am a man. I stand up to pee, but you sit down, as if that makes a difference. Isn't that the way God created everyone? But you also sit down to defecate, right? All of us
Yes.
sit down at one point. So
Yes.
we
We
need
all do. Yes.
now also not to make the men feel as though they cannot talk about what is going on with them. They should be
Hmm.
free to express themselves and let us know, let everyone know, and let us make this simple on all of us, ladies and gentlemen. Because when we listen, the women will listen, the men will listen to one another. Things will go well, and not
Yes.
trying to label other people like, no, you belong here and I belong here. No, that
No.
that, that doesn't help the situation. So thank
No.
you so much.
And besides, it's not true. It's not true. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, with those limiting assessments, if the person tries and fails or found it is not for them, regardless of what gender they are, this is how the world will move forward in a more harmonious and unified way.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but it's not. That doesn't mean it's not for any other woman or any other man. That's what I'm saying. A woman might, if we if we were respectful of the roles that we say we have, fit, because we know we have different roles, female and female, traditionally, right?
Mhm.
But that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
People look down on another one's role, and then the problem starts there. If I keep the home, as say I'm a female here, right? I keep the home, and I look after the children, and I do everything that supposedly the home needs. And you
Mhm.
go out and you're earning, and you come home, but we're equal because this is your. But that's not what has happened, and that's why it's getting even more pronounced. This
Mhm.
gender-based violence,
Yeah.
because traditionally the men go out and work, but they're not putting up with the coming home now when you just they disrespect what you're giving. I remember a few years ago, women tried to say, "Well, we want paid for what we do," but that didn't work out well either. You know what I mean in the home? Because that's ridiculous.
No.
Really, somebody's
We
going to pay you
cannot,
to
how would they pay you? You're working for yourself and your children and
exactly.
your partner. So I don't think we should be doing that. But here's the thing. If we take every role that we play in the home as important, you will not even have the thought of even thinking that this one is better than this other one, or this one is
Exactly.
more important, because you take every role comes in time to play a bigger role
Part
in
of the whole, as you like to say,
Yes,
part
part
of
of
the
the
whole.
whole. So if
Yes.
you take your role important and also respect the other person's role as important, I bet you nobody's going to see that I am better than the other person. Because when you say you're better than the other person, actually you're not. You're just trying to put on a facade of lies so that people can think that, oh, look at this person. Oh, look, no. And we know that the world has been turned upside down that way to make people to believe it, especially through the social media or TV, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's turned the world upside down, and some of the lies too are also written in books.
They
and,
are.
and kids are
Absolutely.
being misled. We
Yes.
you know Let us begin to really unveil all of this and do it, and the only way is to do it the right way. Do it the way that has love. Do it the natural way, the way that we are created with moral values and high integrity. That is
Yep.
the way that we'll be able to help these women and children worldwide.
Yes.
This is the best.
Absolutely.
We have it. We
Yep.
have it just because we have accepted to look out there instead of looking in here.
Yeah. Or waiting for others to help. We have to
Yes.
do it ourselves, right? Just unraveling those lies one person at a time if we have to, because
Yes.
the men with good heart, the other gender with good heart, will see what we're trying to say, and they will, even thinking about it, will let them see that, it's not working this way. You can't disrespect or discount a whole half of society. It's ridiculous to think the world will be okay like that.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
Malala says, you can't go forward when a whole half of the global population is being held back by artificial constructs too. It's not even a truthful thing. It's a lie, as you say, you know?
Yes, it is. It is a lie. And those people didn't even know any better. That's all they knew. But now that we know, trying
Yeah,
to know a little, we're going to keep increasing that and then keep doing the
that's
right
right.
thing and move forward. And you just
Mm-hmm.
talk about Malala. I love that because in some of the research that I did, Malala has been quoted, her organization and what she's
Oh
doing
yes,
a
yes.
lot.
I sent you a long list of organizations. I don't know when you will get time to look at them, but you
I
asked.
will. No, I will. I will, especially with writing this activism project. I will
Yeah.
look at it because we
Okay.
need to really make it so solid. We got to revise it over and over because we want something that when it's put in place, and then when these children start to study it, it is going to be
Yes.
there, and they're going to add according. Are we going to change certain things according to how things
You'll
are changing?
revise, revise,
Yes, the right
revise.
thing.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely, sister. I'm there.
yeah.
Okay, let's honor our
All
guests.
right. Hello, Mr. Ashok. Thank you so much for being with us again today. As always, we highly appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And our beautiful sister Nancy, thank you so much, Nancy. Nancy is doing amazing thing behind the scene, and I highly appreciate you all for the
Yeah.
benefit of women and children. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us again today. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much, Sister Yvonne. And I really want to just especially thank you so much because without you, I don't think I would have stand this, especially sometimes I get some challenges here, but with your support here on the stage here with me, it really helps me a lot. It really
Thank you,
helps.
sister. I'm
Yeah.
glad to
Thank you
help.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Mhm. And topic empowering women and girls against gender based violence, GBV. And we have our brother, the great Mr. Kuma. How are you? Thank you so much, sir, for joining us from your end. We highly appreciate you. And please help us in the discussion by commenting in
The
the
chat. I was hurrying there, boy.
AI is not even sometimes our fault. Sometimes it's AI. And then Sir Tosha Kanti Saka, proud founder of Unpassive. Thank you, sir. We are happy you're here. If you're new here, we welcome you into this global family that descended from Unpassive. You're welcome here. Thank you so much. And don't forget, Nancy is going to remind you just
Mhm.
before we get there, put a big thumbs up quickly. And if you have not subscribed, please do so and turn on the notification bell as well. We have a wonderful topic today. Let's share our thoughts and ideas. We can learn from each other and we'll be able to change the world, certainly. Thank you. And the managing director is here. Hello, hello, everyone. A bit late again, but welcoming everyone to One Global Movement. Speak with Heart today. That's okay, John. We know that you're multitasking, so don't worry about that.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And great, please tell me your name again and learn to type our
Mhm.
company name correctly. It's all uppercase letters, all caps like this. On passive, not on passive. Please, Ash Mufara wants us to do so. The grade is Divya Kuma. That's
Yeah.
Divya,
I
John.
know. I don't know why he didn't answer, but I
Yeah.
think he got kicked out.
Oh.
John is not. John is not joking.
Okay. Yeah, well, when you're dealing with children, you don't want to joke, right?
No, you don't.
Hello, Sir Kayanderi. Thank you so much for joining us from your end today. We highly appreciate you, sir. And let's all work hard to empower women and young girls against gender-based violence. JBV. Let us love and understand and pass this along to the abusers. Yes, and the abusers need help as well because if we help the victims and don't help the perpetrators, it's going to come back to the same point. So either way, they need help. So thank you so much, John. And let me go here. Hello, Sir AP. Thank you so much for being here with us again today. We highly appreciate you, sir. And I know that you have a lot to say about this 16 days. This is just till the third day, I believe. So I know that you will have a lot from your experiences. You will have a lot to say. Feel free to hop here even for 1 second if you can. Otherwise, contributing in the chat too is still okay.
Mhm.
And Surrender Singh Pong, how are you? Thank you so much for being here with us today. We highly appreciate you. And let's go. Yes. Special greetings to dear John Barilla, Yvonne Finn, and all here. Hello, everyone. Love you. Oh, we love you too, sir. Thank you so much. And he says the gender equality is important. I noticed recently that U.S. does not allow a woman to be POTUS. What's that? Do you understand that?
President of the United States, because of what happened in the election
Oh,
recently. Yeah,
oh, the old thought needs to change. Yes, we are equal, but women are powerful. Thank you. And there are some women who are becoming presidents of their countries, and we are hoping that that will change. We are really hoping that. And let's go here down. Oh, he's writing in Hindi here. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that. I wrote it in Malayan language. You can translate it and experience. Wow, that's good. It's a good thing to do.
I did.
You did?
I did. It's up there because you can just translate it into in the translator on Google. So I did.
Did I miss it or it's still down?
It's still down further. Yeah.
Okay. We have our brother Levi Mama Bolo. How are you? Thank you so much, sir.
That translation. Sorry, sister. Go ahead. That is right above Levi right there now. Just look above and you'll see where it says Yvonne Finn.
Okay.
And then
it says male dominance is an old mindset in society. This has to change. Wow.
That's right.
You are so quick to translate it. Now you're going to know so many languages.
No, I don't know. It is just the translation ability in Google. I use that.
Okay. #1 global movement. Great. You are right, Yvonne Finn. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm learning that language, Malaysian.
Malayalam.
We are all equal men, are not supposed to treat women as inferior. Certainly, sir.
Yes,
certainly. That is so true. Thank you so much. And this will really boost our children's self-esteem, especially the girls. Because if we treat the women and the girls inferior, this is exactly what they're going to be accepting out there. And that is not good for their health at all.
Yes. Yeah.
And when human was living in cave, when the humans were living in caves, both gender respect better than today. Everything changed after invention of agriculture and men taking the key of the treasure of agricultural products.
That's true. That's part of it. That's part of it.
It's part of it.
When they work together equally for survival, they were, the roles were more respected, but now the balance has shifted. And, because, that is what has happened, truly. Yeah.
And the balance has shifted, Sir AP, as we all know. It can change if we all are in it.
Yes.
Now you are talking about those things because you have the experience, and this is what we in our community groups or male groups or women group or in a mixed community group. These are the things that we can bring forth and talk about and hear, listen to the ideas and the stories of other people, and then we know how we can put some resources in place that will help do that.
Yep.
Thank you so much. And here we go. Our link. Remember, every time you go to Facebook, just like it, just like YouTube, like it. Follow us on Facebook, our Facebook page, and do whatever you can. This is the digital world. We can do that because this will be the list that we can start by helping one global movement, women and children. So thank you so much for always putting that link out there. And I will improve a lot of the correction to corruption in every society.
AI, he's saying.
AI will improve a lot of the correction to corruption in every society.
Yep.
Yes.
We're hoping.
And AI, let us all remember too that AI, it's the knowledge of human beings that have been downloaded in there. And so we have to continuously edit it and add and subtract new information. We want to make sure that it is current. Otherwise, we will still be serving the future generation with old ideas that are outdated. So, and we want to make sure that people that are putting the information in that AI are trustworthy and truthful people. We already
Absolutely.
know that AI is out there by some companies not doing the right thing. We already know that
Yeah.
it doesn't have high moral standard, and that is going to
Mm-hmm.
hurt our
Mm-hmm.
children who will use it the most, especially for school. So we, the parents, we the adults and caregivers, we need to watch out for this for every child, every
We do.
person,
We do.
beginning from our homes.
Yeah. We have to monitor it because it will not be static. It will
Yes.
be improved. And as you know better, you do better, as we always say here. So, yeah.
Yes, yes. Hashtag on passive, hashtag one global movement.
Thank you, sir. AP.
Thank you. Yes, thumbs up. And I was doing multitasking as our managing director, but I won't forget to remind you to press the big.
Thanks.
She's not gonna forget that. Subscribe
Sorry.
if not yet done. Turn on the notification bell and share with families and friends, please. And you can also take one global movement go to some people, all of us, almost everyone has a smartphone. Remember that some people don't know how to subscribe. How do I know? I met with these some people, they didn't know I was talking about one global movement. They didn't know what to do. And so, in my own limited understanding of the digital world, I had to do it for them. I did it for my
Wow.
mom as well. My mom didn't know. Now, as we are speaking, my mom gets it, and she knows how to just go there. And
Yes.
so we can help people. You can say, okay, I'm going to set my goal for one global movement is to help 20, 50, 100 people subscribe. You can go into a school and ask them, because we are talking about children here and young people. They will
Mm-hmm.
be more than willing to help. They will be more than willing, and that is going to help us to create resources that we can continue to help this population. And Calistro, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you. And he said, I'm not going to miss today. I have to be present. And now you're
Yes.
present. Thank you. Happy Friday.
After
After
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for everything here. And we made it again this week, and we made it big time. And we have one of the most important and impactful themes that we are discussing. And we're going to continue to discuss for the next 16 days. So
Mhm.
if you think about anything, bring it up. If you don't want to talk about it, we can also talk about it here. If you
Mm,
have a contribution of any kind, please let's do this, because we need variety,
we
because we
do.
come from different regions and different orientations. We need variety so that we can help ourselves. These things are also helping me, just so you know, if I'm doing these shows, sometimes I don't feel as to do it, but I do it because it's helping me. This is
Yeah.
the only thing that I know how to do, and do it with love and
Mm,
determination.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm not feeling well, but I still have to do it, because if I don't, I'll get sicker. Just lay down and get sick. No, I don't want to do that. So thank
Right.
you guys so much. But I thank you who are contributing to write everything, especially you, Sister Yvonne, and the other ladies that are contributing to research and write a lot of things, so that it makes things a little better for me and for all of us here. So
Yep.
thank you so much. And thank you, everyone from Sir AP
Thank you.
and Calistro. Welcome. Thank you so much to the managing director. I love you guys. We love you all here.
Thank you all.
Sister, it's your turn to close it up. Thank you.
You know, sister, I'm just going to go back to what you say over and over and over, that it starts with education. And it says, listen to this quote. I can't remember who said it, but it says, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good, and it says men, but we're going to say good human beings to do nothing. That's the only thing. So any little thing that you can do. This quote has been used by Edmund Burke, John F. Kennedy. It said it was done in the 1867 by someone called John Stuart Hill. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter. Bad men, bad people need nothing more to accomplish their ends than that good people should look on and do nothing. Let's not be those people. If we see it, there's a thing in the subway that says, if you see something, tell some. They're talking about something funny, something strange that's going on. They don't say put yourself at risk. They simply say report it. So when you see something that's good, not good for society, not good for the individual, we have to speak up, right? If it's in your own home, the community, wherever you see it, saying we're going to have somewhere where you can report those kinds of things and see what we can do about that, because it's a people problem.
Mhm.
It's not the weather. It's not anything else. It's a people problem. We created it and we have to mend it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Until tomorrow, not tomorrow. Enjoy
Yeah.
your week.
Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, everyone, and let us bring forth next week beautiful stories of how we enjoy our weekend. I know that a lot of us here are going to be posting some delicious dishes, and it just makes me to salivate all the time when I see those dishes. So thank you from the managing director to all of you for coming and contributing here. Please spread the word and bring someone to One Global Movement. Share the link to others. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate everyone here. Until Monday, we love you all.
Love you all. Ta-ta. Bye. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.